Alright, what's up, Goblin Slayers? I got a new video. This is called Top 3 Problems with the Hollywood Lifestyle, or associated with the Hollywood Lifestyle. And I'm going a bit deeper, I'm going spiritual, rather than problems that Hollywood people face, like money and their cars and mansions, which nobody really cares about. That's private for you to enjoy. But this is problems that are associated with them that are much deeper. So, what's Hollywood? Hollywood is a little city up in the mountains over there in that canyon on the left side that is part of LA. Now, they're very egocentric, so they'll say they're LA, but they're like really only a small part of LA over there in the boondocks, over there in the mountains chilling. Well, not chilling, but being corrupt. And so basically, it's famous and corrupt. Hollywood is famous and corrupt, and that's where the famous people and the corrupt people both gather together up in those mountains. I shouldn't say this, but like they're like mountain goblins, dude. So anybody that wants to be somebody in the US gathers there. Now, some people go to New York or sometimes Florida to make movies, but to really make movies, music and podcasts and radio, entertainment, which is all that we basically do, you go to Hollywood. Now, the top 3 problems that are associated with it, I'll name them off right off the bat. They're top 3 things that I can think of. Their number 1 is drugs, number 2 is bad influence or bad people, and number 3 is lack of God. Now, I don't want to say lack of God because that sounds rude, so I'll say distance from God, no love from God. And I say this because I say drugs because when you take drugs, which you shouldn't take in the first place, you can get addicted. Now, that's a personal choice, so it doesn't hurt other people that much, but you can overdose and die. And I just saw recently, I don't know why this came out on my internet feed, but I saw the death of River Phoenix, which was like a Hollywood star. He made like, how many movies? Like 7 back in the late 80s and 90s. And he overdosed right outside on the Hollywood Strip. Like you take so much junk and then you die, and that's terrible. That's a terrible way to go. That sounds evil. Now, the second main problem is bad influence. Now, a bad influence is promiscuous women and bad boys or bad people. Now, when I say bad people, it can mean any kind of bad person. It doesn't really matter how they look. But I could just imagine like a fat director, like a really fat director. We call them fat cats. And he has like a little tie, a little Cuban hat. No mustache. He's got these little circular glasses and like a leer, like a little a little nasty expression. And he's just telling you like all this junk. Like basically they're satanic and their corruption can rub off on you. Don't ask me how I know this and don't ask me how it happens, but you can just tell, like you can just tell the corruption rubs off on them. So the victim is the celebrity, the actor, and all the people that influence them are the directors, producers, everybody in contact with them in their little social network up in the mountains, and everybody on the set. So lastly, the main problem, this is number 1. I named them off as 3, but this is number 1. The main problem with Hollywood is that they're faithless, that they lack God, they're far away from God, and I don't believe God loves them. And I say this with certainty because they do so many cruel and corrupt things with their propaganda that it's just hard to see that it's right. So you might be thinking, well, I have these problems, but I can't fix them. No worries, I'll give you a solution. Now, there's tons of solutions to all the problems, but I'm going to give you one, and this is to reconnect you with your faith. Basically, I'm giving you a connection. I'm just going to explain this connection. You do that connection if you want to. Once you see all the corruption, you do that connection when you want to, but I'll teach you how. So you might be thinking, I'm far away from God, I'm up in the Hollywood mountains, what do I do? I'll tell you how to connect with God. Sometimes when people think of faith and prayer and religion, they think it'll come to me. No, that's not always true for every person. When I came to my faith, when I came to God, I had to go up to Him. I had to go to Him to see His videos, to see how to pray, to see religious videos. So I'll teach you how to reach out to Him. He won't reach out to you. You're the lower being. He's the greater being. So you reach out to Him. So I could just imagine you like in your modern mansion. You've got your desk. You've got a brown leather chair, some papers to the right, and a computer to the left. So you're going to reach out to God. Basically, you're going to do a prayer. Now, don't worry how this works and don't think about it. When you talk in your mind, you talk to God. I do not know how it works exactly, and you don't need to know. It's not something super technical as it's spiritual. Basically, how it almost works is telepathy, but not quite. It's a little different. But once you say it, you can think it, but once you purposely say it in your mind, it will reach God. Like, I will give you his personal email address and his personal phone number. Like, if we're talking about connections in the big city, I'm going to give you his personal business card, and you can reach out to him when you have the time. So when you say it purposely in your mind, it'll function like telepathy. And talk to him for like 10-15 minutes. Be open with him. Tell him everything. Tell him everything. And if you doubt that he can help you, he can help you, but you have to be honest with him. You have to come clean. Like, if I'm imagining you up in the sky in heaven and you have a white robe, not one stain. You listen to me? Like, extremely white clothing. So yes, this is how to stop your corruption, stop your problems with the Hollywood lifestyle, and I offered you a solution. And it's best that you pray and reach out to him.